You already know what it is that I'm going to be doing in this style of video today. I'm going to be giving my honest thoughts, feelings and opinions on an indie adventure platforming first-person perspective game called A Story About My Uncle. This game actually has quite an interesting backstory when it comes to the development of the game, being created by the students of Södertörn University for a competition. They were given the guidelines and the restrictions to make a non-violent first-person perspective game utilizing the Unreal Engine. The students then went on to work under the banner of Gone North Games, which partnered with Coffee Stain Studios that you might be familiar with for Goat Simulator, in order to publish this game in 2014. On the release of the game, I heard nothing but good things about it. I've always been interested to actually play this game, and now I'm actually getting around to doing so. So considering that this is a single-player platformer first-person perspective game with adventure elements, the story is going to be a very important part about the game. So let's go ahead and start with those elements first. So this game has a bedtime story narration, with the narrator actually being the main character and the protagonist trying to find his uncle, with the early moments of the game describing the uncle as being a brilliant scientist. This is Uncle Fred, with one of Fred's creations being a waste disposal system that seems to be controlled by starlight. In the first moments of the game, you do play as the narrator as a small child going into the disposal dimension in hopes to search for your uncle. The whole game really is on the premise of tracing down the tracks that have been left by your uncle and following him through this mysterious world and unveiling secrets along the way. The player has a suit that varies in ability as you go further through the game, with it only starting off that you can do like a power jump, to then later unlocking the ability to actually grapple. You don't take fall damage within this game, and it's more about defying gravity, and is more about the approach and the map design, as in some situations you can in fact actually approach things in different ways. As the story does progress, you do meet new characters within the world, and as the progression goes on and moves forward, the difficulty does ramp up in situations. The game also offers you nice little challenges, like trying to complete a part without using a grappling hook, something that I am very terrible at doing, but I had fun trying. I can't tell you the amount of times that I fell down into the abyss, but it was okay because, well, this game has a lot of like auto save points, so even if you are new and you're just learning the mechanics, it's not brutally punishing in that way because, well, it is a single player game, it's more about the adventure. There's also some well thought out mini boss moments, like this eye monster. Jesus, this actually scared me a little, I'm not gonna lie. Along the way you do meet interesting characters that do intertwine with the story. There is a companion element to the game, and I'm trying to not say too much to kind of spoil it, because if you've not played this game before, then the story elements are going to be something that is engaging. I think for this type of game, which is a platformer, like, they've done a fantastic job actually at implementing a storyline without it ruining the freedom aspect and not making it too linear. I feel like there's always something on the side to explore, and to do so at your leisure. There's a certain sense of chill vibes when it comes to this game, and although casual is thrown around as sometimes being a bad thing, the casual elements introduced to this game, without making the skill gap too intense, really does help blend and extend the marriage between gameplay and also, well, story. This does give the game a sense of charm, something that is carried through to the characteristics of the art design in this game, with the art direction and the way the art style is in this game is something that is actually really amazing. You don't really see this kind of cartoony aspect with a certain sense of personality. There's only a handful of games really that have done this kind of art style correctly, this being one of them. Being fundamentally a creative person by nature, this speaks to me on so many different levels, and is echoed through the freedom of gameplay. I actually had quite the enriching and positive experience with this game, and I feel like it really did fit my demographic. However, this game is not made perfect when it comes to gameplay. There are a few bugs and glitches that I did actually run into. I felt sometimes that the game wasn't responding to my actions sometimes as well. However, these issues are very minute, Another thing I do want to point out is that, well, you may want to do custom button layouts. When it comes to the default controls to this game, they were a bit of a headache. I had to change things around. But hey, that's not a bad thing. That is more of a commentary on preference, and this game does allow that too, because you can change the keys that actions belong to. Some people in the community have found that the difficulty ramps up quite a bit towards the end. However, at that point in the game, you should be, well, more masterful of the mechanics and the way to actually navigate the world in this, that it shouldn't really be that big of a problem. I got this game on sale, and I'm very glad that I did actually, because, well, as I said, I had a very positive experience. I felt like this game really did a great job when it comes to the story elements, when it comes to the actual gameplay. It also doesn't have a massive system demand for any budget gamer out there. I do believe that this game is a true indie gem. If you agree with today's video, then smash that like button. If you disagreed, let me know down in the comments why. Anyway, my final thoughts is that the game's charming, it's whimsical, it's a great single player experience. There really isn't much bad to say about it, so yeah, give it a shot, I guess. It also does frequently go on sale, guys, so do bear that in mind. It might be a game for you to consider.
We did it! You're awesome. I knew you had it in you.
That was close. We had made it through, and I felt like nothing could stand in our way of finding Fred.